Second Nature for Children is in the house. Coach, how you doing?
Great, man. Great as always. How about yourself?
I'm doing absolutely great, man. So as the family come in, make sure you subscribe, like, share this information because you know at least one or two people that needs to hear this information, and make sure that you go back and check out all the content that we have because we are here trying to help us as a people come together. And the show really on is for everyone, definitely people of color, but really for people who want to take their lives to another level. So that's what I'm striving for. Anyone who want to take their life to another level, that's why we're here. So make sure once again, like I say, you subscribe, like, share this information with someone. This is the first week that's coming up, the first full week of this month. So we always have our challenge the first full week of each month, and it's a where you could take 7 days and whatever it is you've been procrastinating about or something you've been talking about you're going to start up or something you're going to get going, challenge yourself for 7 days and see, can you put a spark to whatever it is that either you've been putting off or you've been procrastinating about. This is the time to do it so you can work on moving forward. This is the week to do it. Take that 7 days and challenge yourself on something. Take that challenge, family. Coach, I want to talk to you today about things that we're not thinking about. And before I get there, I just want to holler at the family just for a minute, let the family come in, get away from the entertainment for a minute, get away from the gossip for a minute. And this discussion is always a discussion that we should have been having as a family long time ago. We're bringing that old fashioned uh, come to Jesus talk, as they would call it, where we need to discuss some things uh, that's essential for our lives because a lot of things that we embark ourselves in from day in and day out that really have no meaning to our lives. And so I guarantee you that if you take hold to this content that we're putting out, I guarantee you it'll change your life. And we always talking about solutions. And there's a video that I put out on solutions. So make sure you go back and pull that video up. But we know that there's a lot of problems with us in our community. So I like to come on now and give at least two things that I think that we should work on. And one of them today is this will make a big difference in your life if you just learn how to change. If you just learn how to change, it'll make a big difference in your life because anything that's supposed to evolve, that's supposed to change, and does not change, it will self destruct. And you may be wondering what's going on in your life or why things are not working out for you. It may be because you won't change. So, just something to think about. And for our parents who have children, stop doing everything in front of your children. Stop doing everything in front of your children. Believe me, they're watching you. And a lot of times, whether you know it or not, you should be their role models. They should have to look out into society to look for, someone to be like. That mother and that father should be their role model. So let's make sure we get on the ball so we can help our children. We are a youth organization right here in Atlanta. And if you would like to support our organization, of course, there you go. Support us. If you don't, find someone or something or some youth organization or find someone that you can help. Let's do that. So here we go. We already got it out the way. Once again, I'm letting you know to subscribe, like, and share because I'm seeing that those things are down. We watching. We're not liking, we're not sharing. So let's get that up. Let's not be lazy about that. That's free. That's free. And I hope everyone is working on themselves to be better. I really hope as a people that Coach and myself are coming on and giving this information for us. And I know we got some people watching, and you may not comment or you may not, you kind of sit behind the scenes and you may be trying to really work on yourself. So I really hope that you really are trying to better yourself, and definitely within your mind, your body, and your soul. Now, I know a lot of us are not. I know a lot of us are not. So I'm hoping that we get it together as a people, as an individual, that you begin to use this right here and start taking better care of yourself. And I know we are in different places in life and we have different experiences. And some of us are in bad shape. Yeah, some of us are in bad shape physically, mentally, and spiritually. Some of us, one of the reasons we're going through so much in our lives right now that we may have not really thought about it, we don't have a strong foundation. We don't have nothing to stand on. And that's why it's so easy for us to fall, because you got to have a strong foundation for you to stand, especially on this journey, and especially being people of color. So there's just something today we're going to deal with thinking about. Your past experiences, they play a big part in your life today. They play a big part in your life today. While the content, and Coach, you mentioned this a little earlier on another video, hell, I could have mentioned it myself, further as the content either getting old or the content getting stale, because we are really kind of regurgitating the same things out. But let me explain something to you, and let me explain something to the people. While the content that comes from Second Nature for Children, I'm gonna explain to you why it'll never get old, why it'll never get stale. I don't care how many times you say, man, I can heard them say that, or I heard him say that. Let me explain something to you. It'll never get old or it'll never get stale because it comes with a responsibility and it requires you to do something. So if I'm trying to get you to get yourself together physically, and you keep hearing me saying certain things about getting in shape, and you saying, oh man, that right there, I can heard him say that before. Well, let me ask you something. Have you started getting in shape? See, when you go listen to gossip and entertainment, it don't require you to do anything. So you just if you hear them saying the same thing or this and that, you be like, oh man, I can heard them say P did this. Or I can heard them say this and that, this and that. But what we're talking about, it comes with a requirement. That's why it'll never get old, because you have to move it in stages. Okay, if you are, have you started physically getting in shape? Now let me ask you this right here. Have you started mentally getting in shape? Do you even know what it takes to start mentally getting in shape? Do you understand what being mentally fit is all about? Right. So it'll never get old because it's a process and it's steps you must take. First, if you're sitting there, you haven't started exercising, that let me know right there you hadn't gotten it yet. If you don't understand what's going on with your mental health, let me ask you something. Do you know if you have a mental disorder? Do you know? Do you know? Do you have mood swings, anxiety, eating disorder, personality disorder, bipolar, or depression? Do you know that? It'll never get old. These are things that we have to work on the rest of our life. Do you know if you have any mental issues? Or what about some type of post-traumatic stress that you haven't healed from? What about being in a bad relationship? What about trust issues? What about making bad decisions? See, this stuff never get old. We have to constantly, our lives are always under construction. We have to always constantly work on ourselves. The content will never, ever get old. Where are you? Where are you? Do you have a mental illness? Do you have some type of substance abuse? Yeah. Are you drinking a lot? You don't understand why you're doing so much drinking alcohol excessively. You don't know what could be going on. What's wrong? Are you doing drugs? Are you still doing drugs? Constantly doing drugs? Yeah, and you're not paying mind to, you're really tearing your body down. You're really destroying yourself. You're really self-destructing. You know, is there a sudden absence of self-care? Are you taking care of yourself mentally, physically, spiritually? You couldn't be if you haven't even started exercising and working on changing your diet. I just wanted to explain before we get started, we're not thinking the content will never, ever get old because you got to be in certain stages. So what I'm trying to tell you, have you started taking care of your mind, your body, and your soul? And then have you started helping the close ones around you, your family members, the ones who want help? Everybody don't want help. I can found that out a long time ago. Hell, I can't help a lot of y'all. So that's another stage. Then once you get to that stage, have you moved out into working in the community? See that? It'll never get old. You're not doing that. Are you supporting Second Nature for Children? That's another stage. Are you supporting any other organization? I see y'all supporting a lot of gossip. I see that. I see you supporting a lot of entertainment. I see that. But we're not supporting anything with significance that moves our lives to another level. I see that. Yeah. So I just want to share a little bit of that, coach, and let them know our content will never get old, ever. Now let's talk about the number one thing dealing with that Blacks are not doing. We're not thinking. To think is to form a thought or idea. I like to define it so I can make sure that we have a reference point and we're on the same page. Something that you can define, a picture in one's mind, something that you can imagine, at least consider the matter when you're talking to someone instead of always going back and forth. Sometimes can you just settle down and kind of think about it? Consider the matter. Understanding of what is known. But watch this right here. To understand is to have the knowledge, but just having the knowledge without the wisdom, it means nothing because it's the wisdom that puts the action onto what you know. Like if you sitting there and you know you unhealthy and you know that you need to take care and take better care of yourself, then you got the knowledge of it. Now you got to get the knowledge of knowing what to do, but now you still got to hook the wisdom onto it because then it's the wisdom that gets you in action to make you do something about it. So just understanding or having the knowledge of something, family, it don't mean nothing until you put the wisdom to it. We're not thinking. So when we talk about thinking, once again, here we go. We dealing with the mind. And it comes with making decisions. And there's a price to pay when we constantly make bad decisions. A lot of us are making bad decisions. And that's why I asked you a little earlier, have you started exercising? You're going to pay a price for it later. You may be paying a price for it now. I know definitely if you 40, 50, 60, 70 years old, I know you're paying a price for it now. I see you. I see people. I observe. We're not thinking. You got to take care of yourself. Have you cleaned your eating up? Are you eating healthy? You're still drinking a lot of alcohol. You wondering what's going on. What are you trying to escape? That you haven't sit down and addressed that mental issue. Why you keep doing drugs? Time after time after time. What are you trying to escape? Why do you need that to make you feel good? You're just tearing your body down and you're slowly bringing on an early death. We're not thinking. We're not thinking. A lot of us right now, we're in such bad shape, we can barely walk. I see us as we get older. We can barely walk. We can barely move. I see us, family. High blood pressure off the chain, high cholesterol off the chain, diabetes off the chain, certain types of cancer off the chain, being overweight off the chain. See, family, I know we don't want to hear the truth. That's why the lights ain't up. We don't like the truth. But somebody got to come in and we got to begin to tell the truth. It's facts. I can prove it.
Yeah.
It's facts. I'm going to let you go in just a second, coach, because I'm ready for you to jump in. I just had to share this information. And when we know that these things happen and we want to take care of ourselves, our percentage of being ill goes up and a early death because we self-destruct. I said earlier, when we don't change, when it's time to change, we'll self-destruct. Family, we're not thinking. And let me say this right here, and I'm going to let Coach go in, I'll come back later. And we have to be careful because, and listen to this, you are what you think you are. But don't think you are something that you're not. I want you to get that. You are what you think you are, but I don't want you to think that you are something that you're not. Think about that. On one hand, you have to be careful of thinking that you are not worthy of being the best you can be. But then on the other hand, you have to be careful thinking that you are more than what you are. We're not thinking it. It's something I just want you to think about. So, Coach, I asked you the question dealing with thinking. And I see that when I was just dealing with the physical and the mental, I see that we're not thinking. And there's a price to pay when we're not thinking. Drinking and doing drugs and overeating and not taking care of ourselves. And we're bringing on a very dim future for ourselves. And I hate to see that. And I need for us to start thinking. What you think about that?
I agree with you, man. I concur in that. But I mean, you got into it. I'm gonna come from a different angle. Two things I heard. Well, one thing I read, one conversation I had, kind of inspired me. The word today to people is surplus. Surplus is the word today. I read an article, a 90-year-old man in Louisiana had to go back to work. He's pushing carts for Winn-Dixie. I think he's a veteran also, not mistaken. His finance, I think, like 2,500 a month, but all he was pulling in is things of 1,200, 1,100, something like that. And a woman asked him, "Why you out here? Even Veterans Day and what have you. Why you out here? Not Veterans Day, but Memorial Day. You know what I mean?" He said, "Man, got to eat." And she started helped start a GoFundMe for him. 90 years old. And I know in another piece we had, I spoke of a woman 84 going back out to work at Costco. The way the economy is now, the way life is right now, you cannot depend on a pension, Social Security, and think that's all the end all be all. I had a conversation with someone who's going to be 78 in a few months, and their concern is that they might outlive their money. That's why I said the word today is surplus. When it comes to finances, surplus. You got to have as much streams of income as you can possibly can. So you got to evolve from that one job or one income mindset. You don't have a choice. You don't want to be in that predicament. Barely can move, but you got to go out here because you need to get it in so you can eat. I could only imagine, man. You know what I mean? So you don't have to evolve. But like you said, there's a price to pay for that. I'd rather have a whole lot more and I can share what I have because I'm good than to have less and I can't do anything about it. I'm not able to get out there. Just imagine, man, you can go back out there. Some people cannot go back out there because of disability for what have you. You know what I mean? So they're stuck, you know. So in that regard, man, we really got to look and see what's going on around us in terms of everything, with the exception of your pay. Everything is high. Name something right now that's cheap. Gas, all the commodities, everything, rent, whatever, insurance, everything, taxes, everything is high. And you think all of a sudden it's just going to drop, it's going to go down? Nah, man. It's looked to me like the new norm. So we got to pay attention to that, and we got to move away from that set mindset, of the one income. Nah, man, you got to find different streams. You got to look for avenues. You got to keep evolving. Uh, you got to add some sort of value, skill set, that you deem necessary. You know what I mean? Moving forward, AI can't take over everything. You still need people, to do certain things. AI can't take over everything. You know what I'm saying? So we got to think like that, man. And it's funny you actually talk about thinking. I don't think that's something we're thinking about because when I look up and look around, it's not too much going that direction. You know what I mean? People talking about the economy of finances. Man, 10, 15, just imagine right now, 5 years from now, what it can be like 10 years from now. Do you have enough to withstand that financial onslaught? And we talking about a healthy person. So what if you have sickness? You know what I mean? Death in the family, financial setback. We got to change the way we look at things, man, especially from a financial standpoint. We have to, man. So that's my take, man, in that. I just had to go there, man, because that inspired me. Let me be honest with you. That inspired me. I got to do a whole lot more, man. So,
And that's great. That's great. That's great because I can guarantee you a lot of us are not thinking about that. A lot of us are not thinking, you know, later on in life, if I live that long, am I
yeah,
going
yeah,
out, yeah,
yeah,
am I going to outlive my money? What if I mess around and outlive my money? Especially if I'm making bad choices today, you know? And
yeah,
so, and I, man, I can guarantee you, a lot of us are not thinking about that. And then once again, when we are reckless, I would say with our money, and a lot of us right now today, we're reckless with our money, and depends on what we're doing. You may have a certain type of money now where you spend in a certain type of way, and there is a rich thing, a certain thing as rich poor, meaning you can have millions of dollars and
yeah.
still be poor. You can't miss one paycheck because you have bought so much and spent so much to you just as worse off as someone just living a moderate life or someone in the ghetto. Hey, you could be just as worse off because you can just
Yeah.
accumulate it, all this stuff, and you're not thinking if something mess around and happen to you and you're just out spending and spending and spending and spending, there are consequences that comes with that if you're making bad financial decisions. Now, eventually, you're going to find yourself in a financial bind later. That's a fact. And so I don't know how many of us are putting up some just in case money. You know what I'm saying? I always think, my thinking is always, what if this happened? Not to the point where it scares me to do this or do that, but I always have another plan. But what if?
Mm.
Just in case. That's just me. I always got that other plan. So, man, I'm just wondering, are we thinking? And as I look around, I don't see us thinking, and there's a price to pay. When it comes to our health, I see us just having a good time. I see us partying, and I see us not taking care of ourselves, coach. And it's not good. We're going to pay a price for that later. And like I said, I see a lot of us paying a price for that now. We walking around, we overweight. A lot of us are depressed because a lot of us would like to be at another stage or another level in life, and we don't have the things that either we wanted to have about a certain time, or we definitely let social media show us certain things, and we don't have them, and it really depresses us, but we haven't put the work in to accumulate these things that we see. Now It ain't nothing for you to look on YouTube and see somebody in a Rolls Royce. And we have to be careful because they got a guy on YouTube too. He shows you how they set the background up that can make you look like you sitting in a Rolls Royce. Have you ever seen that on YouTube? Yeah, they got a guy
No, I
that,
never seen that.
yeah, they got a guy. I have to find it where he can make you look like you sitting in your Rolls Royce talking. When you got the R on the back of the seat, he can make it seem like, yeah, you want a mansion. Oh man, they got all kind of things when they work in the
Wow.
right, because what he knows,
Wow.
what he's disclosing is a lot of these people are showing certain things that's not real, but they know the Negro want it so bad to they know what pulls them in. You understand what I'm saying? And it's not even real a lot of time. They show how they go out and buy all the fake money and make it look like all hundreds and twenties. Oh,
Agreed.
man, oh, coach, they killing it. They killing our folks
Yeah.
because they know we're just living that.
Wow.
Go ahead on, coach. What you got to share?
No, that's interesting, man. I was just thinking, man, if you go that far to deceive folks, man, what does that say about you and your character, man? I mean, really, are you only lying to the folks, or are you lying to yourself also? You know what I mean? I ain't got time for that, man. I'm great with me, man, but like I said, that article and them conversation made me, man. I got to ante up, man.
Absolutely.
So I was great. I got to do greater, man.
And
You
that's
know what I
having that,
mean? Yeah.
and that's just you having that awareness, and I'm so glad that you have that awareness. A lot of us don't even have that awareness. Even here it is now. The information that we're putting out, somewhat just like you said when you read that article, some of our people should be saying the same thing. Damn, I got to get on it. I mean, they opening my eyes to something. And that's one of the worst things to, just like Helen Keller said, there is something worse than being blind, and that is literally having your sight but no vision. A lot of our people, they have no vision, and then they just think a lot of times on what they want because they see it, but then how you gonna get it? See, you're not even putting in the proper work to get it. And then we look at the medical field. The medical field knows, listen, it's what over $50 billion a year within the medical field on them giving us medication. And it may be higher now. They know they're making a killing because one thing they know,
Yep.
if someone don't come along to try to make a difference, we know, and I'm talking about us as a people, we know they're gonna self-destruct. The jewelers, the car dealership, all of these people, they know how to push their product. Because one thing, it's so sad that that book they wrote was in 1954 to sell to the Negro. They know, they know. That's so sad how they have studied us literally like animals. And they know that if they put it out there, they coming to get it. They whether they can afford it or not, they're gonna they gonna do whatever they gotta do because they want it so bad, but they're not willing to really put the work in to get it. So they're willing to do anything. That's why once you begin to deal, let's look at our streets right now. I don't know how many street people that we have, but there's another culture that I don't even know if people even pay mind to, and that's that street life. That's one of the dirtiest games in the world because it's a cutthroat game. That's all it is. It's simply a cutthroat. You have no friends when you out there and running them streets because it's a devil game and you just trying to accumulate as much as you can. And so if your so-called friend got to take you out, they'll take you out for the material thing. See, we're not thinking. So if it's something that you want out of life, you're going to have to sit down and think it out instead of always putting yourself in a bind where it keeps you in, I would say, a slavery type of life. It puts you in a position where you got to do something because you wasn't thinking, and now you're gonna put yourself in a bind where you're gonna went and bought all of this stuff that you really know you couldn't afford. So now it puts you in a
Yeah.
position where you got to put up with this. You got to do that. And a lot of them don't understand. It makes you more miserable because now you're going against your nature and you're doing things that you really don't want to do, but you got to do it because you're going to put yourself in a bind. And now you're wondering why you're drinking so much because you're unhappy, you're depressed. And so once you don't have the proper mindset, and then you mess around and you connect with someone else and they don't have the proper mindset, that's why a lot of times as couples, we can't stay together. We just bounce from one person to the next person. Why don't we settle down for a minute, spend some time with yourself, and get yourself together? That's why I was saying a little earlier, Coach, our content, it will never, ever get old because a lot of us haven't even started building a foundation. A lot of us don't even have a foundation. So how will it get old? So you just say, "Oh, I heard that before," and you don't do nothing to change your life, then you're just gonna self-destruct, and I guarantee you, you're gonna die early. You gotta take care of yourself. So that's why I said earlier, and I was just thinking about it, it'll never get old because one thing we're always under construction. And one thing we're not doing, we're not thinking. We're just acting. We're just acting out on something. We're putting ourselves in a bind. You know, there's no reason for you to go out and get a multitude of children from different women. There's no reason, woman, for you to allow that man to even do that to you. We're not thinking. We put ourselves in a bind because we're not thinking. There's no reason. There is no reason for you not to take 3 days out of 7 days out of a week and begin to take care of yourself. You all you got. You don't have nothing else. I can't fathom in my mind how can I live and don't take care of myself physically when I know that my physical being is all I got. Once I lose it, I could be spiritually in tune or whatever. But one thing about me being spiritually in tune, then it'll let me know. That's how I know a lot of us are disconnected. Because once you're spiritually connected, it'll let you know that you need to get yourself together physically and mentally. You cannot be spiritually in tune with yourself and not take care of yourself physically and mentally. So if you're not taking, here's a fact. If you're not taking care of yourself physically or mentally, you are definitely not spiritually in tune with yourself. Because you're going to tell me that that source or that creator wants you to self-destruct, and I don't know who you worship or who you connected to, but it's something about that ain't right. So, family, we got to start thinking. Make sure you go like, share, and subscribe. Man, this channel's supposed to be and blew up. It lets me know the reason it haven't. We're so far behind as a people, and we're not thinking. And when you look out there and see all the mess that people give to, and all the views that what we look, man, we messed up. We messed up. We messed up, Coach. We got 3 minutes or so, Coach. I'm gonna let you close us out. And family, I just say this right here before I let Coach close out. Family, we got to start thinking. We got to build a foundation, and we got to make sure that we balance out our mind, our bodies, and our souls. Coach, close us out.
Anyone that observe you going left instead of going right, anyone who observes you doing the things that are detrimental to your mere existence and not saying anything about it, how can they care about you? Now, we don't have to know you to care about you. And the stuff we're talking about, the stuff I'm talking about, man, that's already part of my life. And I feel if it can work for me, it can also work for you. You know, you could tweak it to some degree to fit, you know, your life, your prototype, what have you. But I'm telling you about stuff to work, man. You know, living above your means, that's some financial degradation right there. Period. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. You know, you gotta have some sort of cushion, man. Just in case you fall, you got some, you know, to catch you. That's safety net. You gotta try to add value to your life so you can be necessary in one way or another, you know, as far as income. Because you know, the society which we live in, you don't have that income, you're gonna have a tent. I mean, it's that simple, man. It's that simple. There's nothing wrong with trying to add value to who you are, man. And learning does not stop. As long as you're living, you can learn something new. You can add some value to yourself. You know, grade, no here, it don't matter, man. You add value. And my goal is financial independence, man. I think that should be the ultimate goal for everyone. You know what I mean? But you do it in stages. Don't leave what you're doing and you not, you know what I mean? Do it in stages, man. Work at a plan, financial independence, because not too many rich people got rich working a job. Just remember that, man. And last but not least, I know you went there quite a few times. Your health is your wealth, man. Your health is your wealth. That's it, man.
And we out. I appreciate you, coach. Until the next time, take care.
I appreciate you. All right.
Yes, sir.